Think about a dry, dormant seed buried in the dirt. How does it suddenly wake up and grow into a massive plant? And stepping back even further, how did a plant manage to manufacture that specific seed in the right location to begin with? This split-screen diagram maps out the two processes that answer those questions. On the left is germination, the awakening and growing process of the seed. On the right is pollination, the physical transfer mechanism required to manufacture that seed. These two cycles are linked at every step, and your textbook frequently tests how one process enables the other. Mastering these specific connections is how you prepare for the highest yield questions on the WBCHSE exam. This cross-section shows the exact environment a dormant seed requires to break its dormancy. A seed needs 3 non-negotiable conditions to wake up: water to soften it, oxygen to provide energy, and warmth to trigger its internal growth mechanisms. Once those 3 conditions are met, the chronological sequence begins. The seed absorbs the water, physically swells in size, and eventually breaks its hard outer coat, cracking open to the soil. From that fracture, 2 distinct anatomical structures emerge, traveling in opposite directions. The radicle pushes straight down into the soil, while the plumule pushes straight up toward the surface. Students often mix these up on tests, so use the specific spelling trick. The R in radicle stands for root. That leaves the plumule to become the shoot that rises above ground. This precise dual-directional growth solves 2 problems at once. The plant successfully anchors itself deep for hydration, while simultaneously reaching upward to catch light for photosynthesis. While the radicle and plumule do the same job in every plant, seeds execute their awakening in 2 very different ways. The type of germination depends entirely on the behavior of the cotyledons, which are the seed's thick, food-storing leaves. Looking at the left side of this comparison panel, we see a bean seed. Notice how the 2 cotyledon halves are pushed physically upward, breaking above the soil line. Because the prefix epi means above, we call this epigeal germination. Now check the right side. In a pea seed, the cotyledon halves stay stationary and remain buried completely beneath the soil line. The prefix hypo means below, making this hypogeal germination. Simply observing whether those food-storing cotyledons breach the surface or stay buried gives you a foolproof way to classify any plant's germination type. To understand how that seed was made in the first place, we step back to the flower. This cross-section shows the mechanics of pollination, the necessary journey of pollen from the flower's male part, the anther, to its female part, the stigma. Let's clear up a common source of confusion regarding self-pollination. Pollen can move within a single flower, or it can travel between 2 completely different flowers. As long as both flowers live on the exact same plant, it remains self-pollination. Cross-pollination requires a change of address. The pollen must travel to a completely different plant house, provided it belongs to the exact same species. Because pollen grains lack any ability to move on their own, they rely entirely on environmental delivery drivers to make this trip. This grid highlights those 4 primary delivery agents: insects, wind, water, and animals. For high-value exam marks, remember the specific scientific terms. Insect pollination is called entomophily, and wind pollination is anemophily. Without these specific agents successfully bridging the geographic gap between the anther and the stigma, the plant cannot create seeds, and the entire cycle of germination halts completely. Let's use this pop quiz to test your active recall. Read the prompts, pause the video and lock in your answers. If cotyledons stay below ground, that is hypogeal germination. If pollen stays on the same tree, it is self-pollination. Let's apply our anatomical terms to this sample exam paragraph. The seed breaks open, sending its root structure, the radicle, down, and its shoot, the plumule, up. This seed was originally formed when pollen traveled from the male anther to the female stigma. This full-screen cheat sheet consolidates everything we've covered today. Take a screenshot right now and use it for your final exam review. This mental map of how plants reproduce and wake up allows you to navigate application-based questions on the WBCHSE exam. You've got this.